Hey everyone, this is Michael. Welcome to the Round Number One YouTube channel. Is WWE's interim championship experiment already falling apart? So, Chelsea Green is still listed as the interim WWE Women's Champion. I checked WWE.com right after SmackDown. I checked yesterday, and she's still not recognized as the lineal champion. So, this is a creatively disastrous choice, especially for a company that insists on presenting professional wrestling through a real sports lens. Now, the interim title concept works in UFC. It works in boxing because champions defend once or twice a year. In WWE, champions appear on TV weekly, so the logic collapses immediately. And WWE has never been consistent with the concept, and Trish Stratus proves it. So in April 2005, during her historic 448-day reign, Trish suffered a legitimate herniated disc in her back. She was sidelined for nearly 4 months. The WWE didn't strip her. They didn't crown an interim champion. They had her keep the belt, and they actually used it as a storyline injury. Viscera splashed her at Backlash to explain her absence. So Trish physically kept the title at home while the rest of the division fought for nothing. That established WWE's norm. Seth Rollins gets hurt, the title was vacated immediately. Trish Stratus gets hurt, the title was protected at home. CM Punk leaves with the real belt. Cena wins a belt, but he isn't labeled as an interim champion. WWE now uses the interim champion tag when it benefits the corporate narrative, not the division. And right now the narrative is simple: protect Rhea Ripley at all costs. So the real reason WWE is clinging to the interim label is because Rhea Ripley is the company's chosen face of the women's division. She's injured now. She recently announced that she had surgery, and she's gonna likely be out for months. WWE wants the eventual real champion versus interim champion unification match because it's a built-in box office moment. So by keeping Rhea as the lineal champion, she doesn't need to earn her spot upon returning. She instantly re-enters the division as the undisputed centerpiece, and it protects their TKO's top merch selling mainstream friendly star. Chelsea Green winning at SummerSlam was a huge moment, but WWE still views her as a comedic, opportunistic heel, not a division anchor. And that exact conflict is why everything fell apart on SmackDown. Now, SmackDown was a booking disaster, and look at the visual contractions on SmackDown. It tells you everything about how production views this reign. Chelsea enters wearing a permanent champion shirt. The ring announcer calls her the WWE Women's Champion, but the lower third graphic on your screen reads Chelsea Green, interim WWE Women's Champion. It's a joke on her and a joke on the audience. So in the segment, Tiffany Stratton comes out clearly with something important to say and never gets to speak. Fatal Influence interrupts, and the segment gets dissolved into a standard tag match. Then came the worst possible booking choice. Chelsea Green, the newly crowned champion, gets pinned. This is the exact mistake WWE consistently makes with placeholder champions. If they wanted to protect the tag team champions, Tiffany Stratton should have taken the fall. Instead, they buried the interim champion on night one. This tells the audience loud and clear the belt is a prop, not a prize. Under TKO, the titles, the lineage, and the physical belts are treated strictly as corporate IP. The interim title isn't a sports device, it's a temporary marketing tool. So let's break down the medical reality here. Rhea underwent a full meniscus repair, not a routine trim or a mastectomy. A full repair requires 4 to 6 months of strict recovery to allow the tissue to reattach and heal, preventing a full re-tear upon impact. So returning in October or November would be a medical miracle and an immense physical risk if WWE pushes her back prematurely. The repair can fail. She can, which would result in a second surgery, which will have her out longer. The division freezes all over again, and WWE loses their top star long term. So if WWE sticks to the legitimate medical timeline, and I really hope they do, and I hope they don't rush her back. You know, WWE loves the medical miracle thing that they have pushed on us through John Cena and most recently Cody Rhodes. Rhea shouldn't return until January or February 2027. That means Chelsea Green will need to carry the interim belt for half a year, and I don't think WWE will allow that to happen. So what happens next? So within the next 3 to 4 months, one of two scenarios will play out. The first one is that Chelsea will drop the title before Crown Jewel, most likely to Jade or Charlotte. This would confirm WWE only used their SummerSlam win for short-term shock value rather than committing to her as a true division leader. Then you have the next option is Crown Jewel becomes a title versus title match with massive stakes, and the winner doesn't just unify belts. They walk out with the Crown Jewel Championship, the Crown Jewel ring, and an additional World Championship. So this is a triple prize spectacle, and WWE will only put a performer in that spot who fits their long-term corporate strategy. And it looks like it's going to be Liv Morgan, because Chelsea Green is not that person in their eyes. So this setup ensures that when Rhea Ripley returns, the unification match is framed as a monumental battle rather than a 2-minute squash. WWE needs Rhea's comeback to feel massive, not predictable. And that's exactly why Chelsea cannot be allowed to get too over with the crowd. If she becomes a beloved, hardworking underdog champion, the Daniel Bryan effect takes over, and the audience will actively reject Rhea's corporate mandated babyface push, and WWE and TKO cannot risk that happening. So Chelsea's reign is already quietly being sabotaged. Now, WWE and TKO's entire marketing playbook relies on 3 steps. Number 1, Rhea returns as the unstoppable babyface. Number 2, Rhea demolishes the interim champion. Number 3, Rhea stands tall as the undisputed face of the division. If Chelsea becomes too credible, too beloved, or too successful, that entire plan collapses. Chelsea Green is one of the most entertaining, fully committed performers on the roster today. But WWE cannot allow her to become the division's emotional center, not while Rhea is out, and not while TKO is still pushing Rhea as a mainstream asset. So, unfortunately, Chelsea's reign ends before it truly begins, not because she lacks the talent, but because the corporate machine cannot afford her success. Now, if you didn't hear the news from yesterday, I'm about to go over it now. Keep in mind that WWE has yet to issue an official statement across any of their channels, but the reality remains unchanged. Chelsea Green is dealing with a broken orbital bone. So in a normal sports environment, a 6 to 8 week recovery window for a minor fracture wouldn't completely derail a championship run. But in modern WWE under TKO, creative could easily use this to give themselves an immediate out. Instead of riding around her momentum, they can simply use the injury as an excuse to strip or vacate the interim title and reset the board for Rhea Ripley. However, if WWE had any true creative vision, and a broken orbital bone isn't a roadblock, it's gold. Chelsea is a master of character work. Throwing a protective or a designer mask on her would elevate her gimmick instantly, turning a legitimate injury into the ultimate obnoxious, heat-seeking, disfigured heel persona. It keeps her on television weekly, protects her physical form from contact, and allows her to build even more organic heat without missing a beat. So, in final, Chelsea Green doesn't need to be sidelined. She just needs a microphone and a mask. But unless WWE embraces that creativity, her interim reign will end as a missed opportunity, serving as a stark reminder that in today's machine, corporate strategy always overrides creative potential. So that brings the end for this weekend edition of round number 1. I'm trying to bring you at least one new episode of round number 1 during the week, and then another one during the weekend, but I've been unfortunately swamped with work during the week. So I'm going to try to bring you a new episode this coming week, at least one during the week and one on the weekend. And questions, if you have any questions, send them in. Drop them in the comments box. It doesn't necessarily have to be about this video. It could just be any other question that's wrestling related, and I'll try my best to answer it for you. Yeah, like a couple episodes ago, we had some questions, and I just loved the idea of getting questions and answering them on the show. But I think I'm gonna keep it to the end of the video, the question period to the end of the video. So let me bring this to an end. This is Michael of the Round Number 1 YouTube channel. Everybody stay cool. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And hopefully I can see you during the week. Or if not, we'll see you again on the weekend, next weekend, here on the Round Number 1 YouTube channel. Take care, everyone.